August 2nd. We can work anyway. Indeed. How could exile be an obstacle to a person's own cultivation, or to attaining virtue, when no one has ever been cut off from leaving or practicing what is needed by exile? Masonius Rufus Lectures 9.37, 3331, 9.39.1. We can work anyway. Indeed, how could exile be an obstacle to a person's own cultivation or to attaining virtue when no one has ever been cut off from learning or practicing what is needed by exile? So, late in his life, after surgery, Theodore Roosevelt was told he might be confined to a wheelchair for the remainder of his days, with his trademark bullish ebullitions. He responded, "All right, I can work that way too." This is how we can respond even the most disabling turns of fate, by working within whatever room is left. Nothing can prevent us from learning. In fact, difficult situations are often opportunities for their own kind of learning, even if they're the kinds of learning we'd have preferred. Masonius Rufus, for his part, was exiled 3 times, 2 by Nero and 1 by Vespasian. But being forcibly expelled from his life and his home didn't impinge on his study of philosophy. In his way, he responded by saying, "All right, I can work that way too." And he did, managing to squeeze in some time between exiles with a student named Epictetus, and thus helping to bring Stoicism to the world. So, what's coming through today is that our perceived the exile that we're perceiving as negative. For example, being put in prison, being sent to another country, being put in a desert with no food or water, being abandoned to a faraway place, away from your home, your family, your friends, your familiar things, your phone, your laptop, your devices. If someone was to forcibly take you away from all that would not be, even no, that would not be a preferred, that would not be preferred. You would have to agree that you would learn things that you would never have learned otherwise. It's an opportunity to learn things that you would never even think about learning. So we're making a point, we're offering today that learning is not about being in, it's not dependent on being in one place with the same people, with the same things at the same time. Learning is learning to the virtues, learning to be a good person, learning to cultivate can happen. You can do it in one room. You can do it in one space, whatever room or space you're put in. So we can work that way too. We can respond. If someone wants to send you into prison, we can say, oh, I can work that way too. Someone wants to steal, take all your possessions away from you, take your money, if someone wants to leave you, say, oh, it's not what I preferred, but I can work that way too. I can work that way too. Practice it. Everything you feel that's negative that happens today. If someone does something that you triggers you, we can say, we can work that way too. It's fine. It's okay. We're not aiming for that. We're not aiming for exile. We're not aiming to be sent to prison. We're not aiming for all this. We're not aiming to be, be sent to a place that we prefer not to. But we're accepting that we're understanding what learning is. We're understanding what learning to be a good person is. We're understanding learning the virtues is not dependent on anything outside of you. Theodore Roosevelt told his to put in a wheelchair for the rest of his days. He responded, I can work that way too. Sonius Rufus. Send 3 times, exhale. I can work that way too. And watch how our acceptance of poverty, acceptance of whatever situation or circumstance that you might be sort of scared of. If that was to happen, if that was to materialize, if that was to manifest, the acceptance of that, think of the impact. Think of the impact, reflect on the impact it could have that you might not be aware of. Musonius Rufus, I'm sure he had reacted to that, initially, but then reflected and used the Stoic philosophy and accepted it I can work better too. And 2,000 years later, plus, we're still talking about his words. So in the present, in that present, oh, I don't want this to happen. We have no clue really what impact we could have on other people later in life, just for our acceptance and our cultivation. It's okay. I can work that way too. So it's another angle we can look at today. Just our small steps can have an impact thousands of miles away, energetically, physically. Just making those moves that a good person would make. So cultivate peace today. Cultivate kindness, gratitude, love, acceptance, temperament, courage. Thank you. Enjoy your day, my friend.